Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam, and in this video I want to share with you my #1 tip for keeping plants alive and stress-free when you're planting them in the spring and summer. I did a video that was similar to this last summer. I had planted a Japanese maple over here on my side yard, and I went around it and pruned off some of the newest growth on it and explained why I did it. I've had a lot more subscribers to this channel since then, and I definitely want to reinforce this, and we're come back around on the calendar to spring, and the plants have tons of new growth on them. When you're purchasing them, they all look great wherever you're going and shopping for plants. And that new growth can actually cause significant problems. And I want to just go over that real quick and show you how you can rectify that very, very easily. Here's a boxwood in a 2-gallon container. It's got beautiful new foliage all over the top of it. When I slide it out of the container, just like you would expect, it's got lots of beautiful white new roots on it. And all of this is in proportion, okay? What you're seeing up on top is a result of what you're seeing in this container. Now, as we all know, when we pull this thing out of the container, we need to be pulling at those roots before we put them in the ground. Otherwise, they're going to continue to wrap around and around and around and not root outward into the soil. When you grab a hold of those roots like that and you start spreading them out, you are damaging some portion of them. So let's say you damage 10 or 15 or 20% of the roots down here, but you don't do anything on the top to take care of that. Watering this plant won't necessarily be enough to keep it from wilting in the afternoon, because it may not be capable of carrying enough water and nutrients up into the plant on a warm day, or on a very sunny day, or on a windy day when it's, when the wind is taking water out of this foliage. The roots may not be adequate after you've damaged them to supply the water up here. So all I do on a plant like this is I'll hold it together about like that, and I'll take about that much growth off the top of it. You hardly ever know it. So here's this baby Jim boxwood. I'm only going to take off a very small amount of the tip of each of these branches that has new growth on it. That's all I have to do. Okay, that's it. I don't have to do anything more than that. Okay, this plant now, even though I've damaged some of the roots, will have no problem at all getting enough water up to what's remaining on this plant since it's not actively growing. We basically put the bottom and the top of the plant in balance. If we get down here in the middle of this plant, it has some off-colored leaves down in here that it's losing. What plants will do when they're drought stressed is they'll lose old foliage. There's leaves dropping off of it all around here on the bottom. They will not sacrifice any of the new growth up here because they're intent on flowering, on growing and flowering, and they'll sacrifice the bottom of the plant. If it thins out severely in there, I'm going to have to prune the top of it anyway to compensate for that loss of foliage. So when I planted this plant, if I would have just gone across the top of it and taken off, an inch and a half off of each of these branches, that's all it would have taken. Let me see if I can do this and hold this camera at the same time, but that's it. I'm just going to take off just the newest growth across the top of it. Now, this plant would have never had that kind of drought stress. So again, the plant's response is going to be to shed interior foliage. The plant is unlikely in my area where I get normal rainfall and I have this clay soil. It's unlikely to get dry enough to actually kill this plant. But the plant's making a decision to lose interior foliage, like this salvia is starting to do here that I planted just a week or two ago. I've drought stressed this plant almost every day so I could shoot this video for you guys. This plant's going to lose interior foliage. I don't want it to lose any interior foliage because no matter if it does that, it's going to be thin in the middle, and I still am going to have to prune it. So I might as well get the pruning over with right from the start. These salvia bloom all summer anyway, and within 2 weeks of me pruning these flowers off, it'll be growing again, but I will have put it in balance with the damage that I did to the roots underneath here. And here's another thing. This is a setup to overwater plants. Most plants are actually killed by overwatering and not underwatering. If I come home and water this plant every afternoon because it's wilting, but the soil's underneath it's actually wet already, and it's just having a hard time actually getting that moisture up in the plant because there's not enough root system to do that, that's a setup for me to end up overwatering. So the best thing to do is just go across the top of this plant on all of these salvia, just take these flowers off. It's quick and easy. I even just leave them laying where they are. They'll be mulch right by the plant. No problem at all. And I'll do it on each and every one of them. And now I know that in about 2 weeks, the roots will have recovered from the damage I caused, and this plant will be completely in balance and be able to grow and produce flowers all summer long. So here's a blueberry plant that I had planted a few weeks ago. I shot this video and put it up. There's 6 of them over here. And these 3 over here and the one back here are half the size of this one, but they were all in the same exact sized container. This one, every afternoon when I come home, it's in a wilt, and it's not in a wilt because the soil's dry. I got it well mulched. I watered it in well when I planted it. I've watered it since. The real reason it's in a wilt is because there's way too much plant up here for the roots that it currently has. So I really need to get that in balance. And when I planted it, if I would have just simply taken off the top 6 or 8 inches of these branches and maybe just trim back very lightly the end of a couple other branches here. But if I just go all the way around this plant and take those off, I think people understand this on fruit plants like this because, you know, everybody's heard that you shouldn't let a plant fruit, you know, the first year or maybe even 2 years it's in the ground. So on this fruit plant, if I said this to someone, no problem at all. I think everybody would get it. But there's not really anything different on any flowering plant. Any flowering plant you're putting in the ground, or any plant that's in that time of year where it's growing rapidly. If they're in that time of year, they're not going to be able to support the top of the plant with the roots or under the soil. And like I say, my biggest fear with this is that you end up overwatering. By seeing that wilt, you try to respond to it with water, and water is not really the solution to this particular problem. So I hope this helps everybody kind of understand that that little bit of damage you're doing to the roots when you're planting, which is absolutely necessary, needs to kind of be put back in balance when you're spring and summer planting. This doesn't apply as much in the fall or in the winter because the plants aren't actively growing. So they're not being water hogs or nutrient hogs at that time. So that root damage can be made up for during some winter root growth before they leaf out in the spring. So it's not quite as necessary. I do sometimes anyway, still do it, but especially if I have a really small root system for some reason, when I pull something out of a container and just kind of look at it that way, and I've got some big giant plant on top in a very small pot or something like that, I may do a little bit of pruning on it. Anyway, I learned this technique landscaping for years because I was guaranteeing the plants that I was planting on the landscape jobs, and I didn't necessarily trust the person I was working for to be knowledgeable in either under or over watering them or ignoring them altogether when I was leaving. So I just take a little bit off the top of every plant before I leave, put everything back in balance, and walk away knowing that as long as it rains within a week or 2 of me having drowned them when I put them in the ground, everything will be fine. And I rarely ever lost very many plants. So I really, if you're a landscape professional watching this video, I really do recommend using this technique before you leave any of your customers' jobs, because like I say, you never know what they're going to do after you've gone. So I hope this video is helpful in all of your spring and summer planting this year, and I think it will help you. It will help prevent you from overwatering, which I think most people end up doing when a plant goes into that wilt cycle, where every day when you come home, it's in a wilt, and every morning it's popped back up. Well, it's popped back up overnight because the sun went down, the wind died down, and it stopped losing water overnight, and it popped back up. It really didn't have anything to do necessarily with the water you gave it. So if you see something wilting, go out there and dig around it and make sure it's really, really dry before you water it. If it is dry, water it. I'm not saying don't water. But if it's still a little moist and it's wilting on the top, it's out of balance. Just take a little bit off the top of it and you should be good to go. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos.